Welcome back to Behind History, where we don't just recount battles, but decode the tactical ciphers and silent failures that shaped modern history. Today, we peel back the layers on one of the greatest gambles ever conceived, the Schlieffen Plan. Conceived in the German General Staff, it was the genius answer to the nightmare of a two-front war, requiring the swift defeat of France within 6 weeks by a lightning-fast swinging door maneuver through Belgium. The entire hope of the German Empire was staked on this striking force, led by General von Kluck. But from the very first minute, the plan was haunted by an alteration. Caution had weakened the attack. We will witness the brutal race across Belgium and France, where German soldiers achieved the physical feat of marching 25 miles a day, only to be stalled by the unexpected defiance of the fortress of Liège, costing precious golden days. And then, at the climax, we will explore Kluck's calamitous decision to pivot inwards, creating a 50-kilometer gap that yawned open before Paris. How was that tactical error spotted by French spies and reconnaissance, culminating in the dramatic arrival of over 600 Paris taxis, rushing reserves to the front in a desperate counterattack? This is the story of the moment Moltke realized victory had slipped through his fingers. The failure of the Schlieffen Plan, the failed race for speed, didn't just save Paris. It ended the war of movement, plunging Europe into 4 years of inescapable trench hell on the Western Front. Chapter 1. The Doomed Blueprint. In July 1914, the atmosphere at the German General Staff headquarters in Berlin was thick with cold confidence and the smell of old paper. Field Marshal von Moltke, the younger, stood before the massive map, where the Schlieffen Plan, the strategic legacy of his uncle, was meticulously drawn. It was a brilliant blueprint for a two-front war. Swiftly defeat France in 6 weeks with a giant swinging door maneuver through neutral Belgium, then pivot eastward to counter the slow-mobilizing Russian army. But Moltke had changed it. In that fateful moment, he had weakened the right flank, the crucial striking power, by transferring troops to the Eastern Front and strengthening the defensive left wing in Lorraine. It was a betrayal of the original strategy, a concession to caution. Moltke believed in his own prophecy. We must be in Paris in 6 weeks. If not, we will be bogged down in a long war. When Austria-Hungary issued its ultimatum, the German war machine began to turn. The first step was tearing up Belgium's neutrality. Chapter 2. The Swinging Door Meets Resistance. In August 1914, the German First Army, under the command of General Alexander von Kluck, the man tasked with leading the striking point, began its advance through Belgium. The plan demanded blistering speed, but immediately met resistance. The Belgian fortress of Liège, expected to be subdued easily, resisted with unexpected valor. The deployment of the heavy Big Bertha siege guns finally leveled the forts, but cost Kluck a precious 4 days. Time, the one commodity the Schlieffen Plan could not afford to waste, began to run out. Kluck and his army achieved a physical feat, marching up to 25 miles, 40 kilometers, a day in the summer heat. Reports flowing back to German High Command, OHL, spoke of exhaustion, worn-out boots, and a logistical system stretched to its breaking point. Yet, their speed pushed the British Expeditionary Force, BEF, and the French Army south, creating the illusion of an imminent victory. Chapter 3. The Calamitous Decision. By late August, Kluck faced a critical choice. According to the original plan, he was supposed to make a wide arc to the west, sweeping behind Paris to encircle the city and destroy the retreating French army. But Kluck, driven by speed and the fear that General Bulow's Second Army, the adjacent flank, was lagging, made an independent, reckless decision to pivot inwards, passing east of Paris, aiming instead to immediately destroy the retreating French forces in front of him. This move, fueled by the blind confidence of victory, created a 30-mile, 50 kilometers gap between his First Army and Bülow's Second Army. In Paris, General Joseph Joffre, the French commander-in-chief, along with General Gallieni, the military governor of Paris, recognized the opportunity. Aerial reconnaissance and intercepted intelligence confirmed it. The German right flank was exposed. Paris was threatened, but a punch into that gap could change everything. Chapter 4: The Taxi Rescue and the Panic. On the 5th of September 1914, the First Battle of the Marne erupted. French and British forces launched a surprise attack into the vulnerable gap between the German armies. In a dramatic move, Gallieni requisitioned all of Paris's taxis, over 600 Renault cabs, to rush 6,000 reserve troops to the front line. These civilian vehicles became the iconic symbol of the desperate French counterattack. At German high command, panic set in. Moltke, ill and overstressed, dispatched Colonel Richard Hensch to the front to assess the situation. Hensch, witnessing the disorganized retreat and the widening gap of the Second Army, took it upon himself to order Kluck's First Army to retreat as well, to close the tactical hole. Kluck, despite winning on his own front, was forced to comply. The gigantic, swinging door of the Schlieffen Plan had painfully slammed shut in reverse. Conclusion: the cost of failure. The German armies retreated north of the Aisne River and began to dig in for defense. The French and British did the same. The war of movement was over. The Schlieffen Plan, the strategy designed to avoid a long war, had failed miserably after just 1 month. Moltke, in despair, reportedly informed Kaiser Wilhelm II, "Your Majesty, we have lost the war." This failure was not merely a tactical blunder. It was a death sentence for German strategy. It plunged Europe into a new kind of conflict, a war of trenches, mud, and barbed wire, defining the next 4 years of brutal, inescapable attrition. A race for speed concluded not with glorious victory, but with the collapse of a supposedly perfect strategy. The Schlieffen Plan, the brilliant blueprint for a swift war, died prematurely, leaving behind a bitter legacy. Just one change of direction, a 50-kilometer gap that was enough to seal the fate of an entire generation in cold, muddy graves. Do you believe Moltke doomed his own strategy when he weakened the right flank? Or did the nature of modern warfare make failure inevitable, regardless of the tactics? Share your own historical detective analysis on General Kluck's decision and the role of the 600 mythical taxis in the comments section below. If you are haunted by the tactical failures and the buried secrets of the world wars, do not miss our next investigation. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications to continue this journey with us as we unveil classified files, expose anonymous spies, and track the unforeseen turning points that shape the course of history. Like this video if you want to keep exploring these intense historical thrillers. We look forward to seeing you again. And remember, behind every trench, there is always a secret waiting to be exhumed.